there, welcome back to Project Management Made Easy. So last time we talked about postmortems, and you should absolutely check out that video after this one, of course. This week we're going to be covering dependencies and how you can use them to make your projects more successful. So let's get straight into it. In the real world, a dependent is someone who depends on you to support them financially or emotionally. In the project management world, it's not so different. A dependency is commonly understood as a task that is dependent on other tasks being completed before it can move forward. However, there are several kinds of dependencies which we will cover in this video. The truth is that it's rare to end up with a project that exists entirely in isolation, so the chance that you'll be relying on many people and processes is inevitable. There are four main types of dependencies: finish to start, start to start, start to finish, and finish to finish. Let's take a look at all of these in turn. I want to use one of my favorite examples, which is the cake shop example. Who doesn't like cake, right? The first type of dependency that we want to talk about is called finish to start. This is the most common type of dependency, and it is the default dependency for most projects. So, let's say we're going to bake a wedding cake. The cake can only be iced after it's been baked. Common sense, right? So that's the first type of dependency. The second one is called start to start. So start to start basically means that there are two tasks that must start at the same time. So for example, if you're making the icing from scratch, and you know that it takes about the same amount of time as the baking process, you have to make sure that you start with the icing as soon as the baking begins. The third is called start to finish. So this one is a little tricky, in the sense that the second task in the relationship cannot finish until the first task starts, but the second task can finish any time. So we can look at the example of billing the customer. The cake can be delivered and then the customer can be billed. Or the customer can be billed for the cake even before the delivery of the cake. Finally, we have finish to finish. Finish to finish simply means that two tasks must finish at the same time. With the cake that we're baking, let's say that there are some unique fondant roses and flowers that need to be added at the same time that the cake is delivered, so that they're not destroyed during the delivery process. This would be completed simultaneously, making this a finish-to-finish dependency. Now, from my own experience here at Easy Projects, I've found that marketing projects, for example, are not as large as IT projects. However, because we are a SaaS company, marketing is often involved in every project and in every area of the company. Call us nosy neighbors, but it's our job. If IT is coming out with a new release, for example, marketing is dependent on that new release to be completed before we can make the announcement. To make it more complex, IT is dependent on marketing for providing them with information about what users need to actually come out with their next release. I've found that the following set of best practices really help you manage the dependencies. The first best practice that we're going to talk about is planning and tracking. Many of us project managers tend to spend more time focusing on what comes next rather than what has to come first. Track the progress of your dependencies so that you can forecast future tasks if need be. Second, you want to communicate. Make sure that the relevant people outside your project know that you are waiting on them in order to carry on with your work, as they may not realize it. Explain the impact of any late delivery and encourage them to keep you informed of progress. Third, you want to keep things updated. Make sure your project management tool is up to date with all the relevant links between tasks. This way, any shift in the timeline is instantly clear and can be recalculated. Finally, keep communicating. As obvious as this may sound, make sure that the people involved in the project are all in the loop so that they're not waiting on your project to complete something. As soon as you can, let them know that the work is done or release the resources so you don't hold up other work in the company. Take a look at your current projects and see how many dependencies they have. The more you know, the better you can help the project stay on track and end successfully. After all, a project is really just an amalgamation of all these dependencies. So that's a wrap on dependencies. Next week, we're going to be talking about Gantt charts, so stay tuned for that.